Frugal living fatigue. Wow, that is a real thing. And let's see, I show clothes on the line every single day. Hang your clothes on the line, I tell you. I show cooking, I show cleaning, I show the garden. But what do we do now? What do you do if you've done it all? Frugal living and it's just not enough. Well, welcome to today's video, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. I'm just going to sit down with all of you because I just got done doing a video and this is unedited, as you can tell, really quickly, and I just wanted to show you all of this. This is about 30 years worth of frugal books. And to say that I have a nice stocked library is an understatement. But I got all the books out. So I went through all my library books, got all my books out together because I really wanted to see what I had for frugal living. And I have about 5 more books. I couldn't carry all of them, but as you can see here, we have all of these books. And these are usually, most of these are from the 80s and the 90s. Half the thing that all these books talk about, I never do, because I don't go on vacations. I don't go on cruises. I'm not looking to buy a new house. I ain't going to be ever buying a new car. And I don't have pets. And I'm not retired. Take a look at all that. So I'm not saying these books are worthless, because there is a lot in these books about other things. Know your birth. Well, let's see. I was born in 1970. Doesn't even have it on here. 1960 or later, you retire at 67. I'm not really interested in looking about Social Security. Everybody says something different about Social Security. Special tax credits. Well, I don't think I earn enough of money to really be able to go through the tax credits like that. But I'm going through all these books because I'm going to go through them, and the ones that don't service me, I am going to donate. Living a Beautiful Life on Less. In this book I said chocolate chip recipe. Well, I guess I'm going to be using that for the recipe. But is that the only thing I could find in this book? Shop the sales. We all know that. Have a wish list. Not sure what that's going to do. And why making a budget is important. Well, I've been on a budget for a long time, but then in the month of October, I didn't do so well because we had some expenses arise that I wasn't counting on. And to be honest with you, the $800 a month is something I can't do every month. Now, majority of the months I can, and I will be doing that in November too. And it's kind of a catchphrase because our children get Christmas presents, but that money has already been allocated. So that's not part of the $800 a month either. I did a whole bunch of videos on that, and a lot of people understood it, a lot of people didn't, but it's a little bit like Prepper Princess in her videos. You have to be willing to do something that nobody is willing to do in order to live that cheap. Well, I don't have health insurance. And so I live in the state of Pennsylvania, which the laws are a little bit different, but you know, I don't have a lot of assets either. So that can be helpful, you know, if you would have a problem with health, with having bills. And so different states is different, and I don't get into technical things because I am not a technical person. But with all being said, Depression era. Now this one here I didn't read yet, and maybe I can come up with some information there. But it's a struggle because everybody does these videos about saving money. What I didn't buy this week, what I won't buy next week, what did we eat this week? And I understand what you're all saying. It's fatigue. People are tired of it. People are tired of hearing about low budget when they're living a lot lower, and it's poor man this, and yet it looks rich to a lot of people. It's so much catchphrases, but bare bones for us. So what I'm going to do is start doing videos where I say bare bones for us, because if it's bare bones for us, it might not be bare bones for somebody else. And so, especially with having a YouTube channel, you know, things are different for me because I do have some things that I can use, you know, towards taxes as far as my income tax. But when they're talking about having these like 401ks and all of that stuff, you know, I really don't know much about that kind of thing. I'm an old-fashioned homemaker. So, and you know, it does talk about embracing today and contentment. All these books say about contentment. And that is a big one, especially with social media. There's so much social media out there. It is easier to not be content. Growing up, I lived in my community of people, and we were all kind of like me. Like, we were all like each other. Like, we did the same things. And then social media comes out, and you see these homemakers that do all these things, and you're like, oh, I don't do any of that. Am I not a homemaker? You know, there's so much peer pressure out there. But at my age, peer pressure does not affect me anymore. I've kind of grown up over that. So, you know, we're going to talk about simple living, and maybe I can find some things that you're not hearing every day. Like hauling water out to save our sewer, to save, you know, because we have a very old-fashioned sewer system, and washing clothes and hanging clothes on the line. Just recently, somebody did a comment, said, "You're very boring." And I thought to myself, well, yeah, I am, because I'm not out spending money. I'm not out doing frivolous things. To the mainstream people, my life would seem very boring. But like I tell all of you all the time, maybe more people need a little more boring in their life, because for me to go to bed at night and have the stress of bills of things that I already bought, credit card bills and things like that, would not be boring, but it would be so anxiety provoking that I just couldn't do that. Like, so yeah, boring. Living, you know, living frugal is boring. Well, it is, if that's not what gets you going. I always say that there's two different kinds of highs when it comes to financial. You can have a financial high by going to the store, and they call it retail therapy. So you feel depressed that day, you go to the store and you buy a whole bunch of things that you thought you wanted. You open it up, you look at them, then you don't want them, and then you have this low. Or you can have the high of saving money. Now, the high of saving money is a different kind of high because it's long term. And so in other words, you're not just, you know, rewarding yourself immediately. You're saving your money in hopes for a less stressed life. And that's where I'm at. You know, I did take it for granted. I will be honest with you. I'm a very honest person. Some people say I'm too honest, because when I'm honest, then of course you get the riffraff who have stuff they want to say. But I will be straight up honest with you. I did take YouTube for granted years ago. I took a certain type of pay that I was getting every month for granted. I am 75% less pay than I was 2 years ago. See, I was always under the belief that the more you do, the better quality you do, the better pay you'll get. And it's not that world that we live in. We don't get paid for good quality. We don't get paid for any of that. But we get paid for living our life. And because I've been on so long, everybody knows who I am that is interested in me or who is not interested in me. That's true. That's true. You know, you never heard, it'd be like if I started a channel now and nobody ever heard of me, it would be totally different. But it's like the singer and Nashville and, you know, the, you know, Hollywood stars, you know, some of them, all of a sudden you don't hear nothing about them no more. You don't hear anything because they had their day in sun and they had their day in glory land, and I should have been preparing more. Now I put it all into our house, which is a good thing, because our house probably would not be standing today if we didn't do all that. But I did put it all into my house, but I didn't put it into a big nest egg, you know. So I will always be frugal, and I will always choose to be frugal when it comes to just my everyday life. And so, how to pinch a penny till it screams. Ah! How to pinch myself till it screams. Ah! You know, because I see these videos and it's like, what, how to do this and how to do that. It's just stuff that everybody who's frugal does. Living on a shoestring. These are the tightwad twins. And Money Saving Mom, the tightwad twins. And I do find that the books from the 80s and the 90s are so much better than these books nowadays. Living Well on a Shoestring. This was my very first book that I bought that had to do with frugal living and decorate your dream home on a dime. Entertainment. Vacations. You know, how to look like a million on a thrift store budget. Like, that stuff just doesn't appeal to me, you know. But then it had a whole bunch about little things about, you know, how to fix things. And while I don't use a TV, frugal lawn care, you know, it's just interesting. It's just a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of nothing. So I'm venting today. So, you know, if you're looking for extreme and amazing ideas that you've never heard for before, this isn't the video for you. And I just love to talk to all of you, and I'm looking at old websites to see, you know, what did people do back in the 90s when, you know, when YouTube and all this internet started coming out. The Wayback Machine on the Internet Archives is really great because there was tightwad Tessie, and that's not me. It's a tightwad Tessie, and she had a whole bunch of stuff on a website, and she's long gone by now, but I guess you could, I'm the new tightwad Tessie. And I'll be honest with you, I can save a lot more than what I am. But every once in a while, you know, in the past especially, I really was interested in buying things. And now I'm going to reward myself once a month with a book or two. There's so many reasons for that. I was rewarding myself with antiques. And the thing is this. As a young married woman, there were so many things I wanted. And I thought when I was in the position a couple years ago to get these things, I did. I didn't get one, I got two. I didn't get two, I got four. I got duplicates of everything, and that became a little bit of a disorder. Just a little bit. And so now I've pared it down to what I need, what I like, but I do love books. And I don't want to live to the point where I'm so frugal that I can't enjoy anything. And I enjoy books. One is, I can donate them to the thrift store, donate them to the library. Books do not take a lot of room, and I go through them, I use them, I study with them, I make videos for all of you, and then I can get rid of them. It's a small thing. So I'd rather have books than massive amounts of canned food that I canned, that, you know, that kind of thing. Now, I do love to still salvage things and get things for free, but I'm not buying any more canning jars or fancy jars or buying all this boho. Boho is a decorative term for things, you know, grandma core, cottage core. Let's see, what else is it? My home is full. But I like books, and I'll keep reading books because books are very inspiring, and they help you, and they make you feel good when you read them, and they take you to places that you never will go in life, and especially money-saving books like this. So there you go, everyone. I will hope to find some things for all of you. I have a lot of videos on freezer meals and cheap budget, low budget, and poor man, low income, whatever you want to call it, low budget freezer meals. And that's gonna be fun because a lot of them come from the 90s. And never send your husband to the store unless you are the one that's with him. I'm not making this stuff up. Never shop your weekly groceries without an eternal grocery list. Never go back to the store if you can't help it until your next week groceries. Never go to the store hungry. I mean, how many times have we been told this? Menu planning. It's so interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna start taking notes. Get all these books in my hand. Hard to believe, but I hated school. Hated it with a passion. In fact, I left school in the 10th grade. For all of you who do enjoy my videos, and I know I put out a lot of content, but my videos, it's just different things for different people. Some people like these talking videos while they're cleaning and working around their house, while other people say these videos don't help them at all and they rather watch my doing videos. But there's only so much you can do in one day. And I've been burning my candle at both ends, and I think that I'm going to sometime soon here just make it a little bit easier on myself and try to come up with working smarter and not harder. I don't know, the year 2025 has been a lot of hard work, but I've been really happy and blessed. Take care, everyone.